So one of my favorite things to edit is a dialogue scene. I love it when a client sends me or I film a nice long dialogue scene. The reason why I love to edit dialogue scenes is because you can do so many little things to build character, and you can definitely heighten the actor's performance and obviously the story. So today I'm going to give you 5 dialogue editing tips to help your scene feel and flow a lot better. Tip number 1. Use room tone to smooth out your cuts. If there's dead space between your dialogue, or there are moments when your characters are not talking, or you just want to help smooth out the cut between the characters that are speaking, I always add a constant room tone to my timeline. I do this because you never really hear dead silence in films. And if you leave a space between audio clips in your editing system, you will literally get dead silence. And that's bad. That's really, really bad. So it's always good practice when you're on set to at least record 1 minute's worth or room tone or ambience, and place that audio in your timeline when you're cutting your dialogue scene. I normally place it right at the bottom of my timeline, and I lock the track, so when I'm making future cuts or edits, it doesn't add any cuts to the audio track that I'm cutting on. Tip number 2, color code your characters. What I mean by this is setting a different color to the characters that you are editing so that we can visually see what clips that we are working with in our timeline. To set a different color in a clip, right click the clip, scroll down to label, and then select whatever color that you want. It's very, very good practice to do this for each of the following: characters, foley, music, sound effects, graphical elements, VFX elements. It's also good practice to label your tracks, just to keep everything visual and tidy. You can label your tracks by... So to name your tracks, what you want to do is you want to come over to this part of your timeline where my mouse is. You want to right click and scroll down to customize. Once this comes up, what you want to do is V1 right here, you want to click and drag it right beside where this I is, and then select OK. And now you can see all these tracks are named. Now to rename the track, again, right click, select rename. I'm going to call it dialogue 1. It also doesn't matter how large or small the track size is, the name will still appear. And you can do that for all the corresponding tracks and so forth. You can also name your audio tracks as well. Tip number 3, use L and J cuts. If you don't know what an L and J cut is, an L cut is where if we have a scene with 2 characters, character A and character B, character A is speaking, we cut to character B while character A is still speaking, and a J cut is, it's the total opposite. We see character A, but we hear character B's dialogue, then we cut to character B. That's a J cut. Use L and J cuts to help your dialogue scene flow so much better, and try to avoid the overuse of parallel cuts. If you don't know what parallel cuts are, they are cuts where you instantly cut to or show the character that is talking at that particular time. A couple of reasons why not to use parallel cuts: if overused, can be very predictable, it can mess up the flow and completely take you out of the scene that you're editing. Right, I just wanted to show you an example. So on my left, I have a scene cut together with hard cuts or parallel cuts, and on my right, I have the same little scene cut together of a mixture of L and J cuts and parallel cuts as well. So let's just go through them and see what flows a lot better.
Simon.
Ralph.
Simon, I really have to get home.
Sorry, pal. Tax department, they're a pack of dogs, they are.
Yeah, but no worries, Simon. Oh.
Let's go through the same scene by involving L and J cuts and parallel cuts as well.
Simon.
Ralph.
Simon, I really have to get home.
Sorry, pal. Tax department, they're a pack of dogs, they are.
But no worries, Simon.
So yeah, I don't know, which one do you feel flows better? I personally feel the second cut scene flows just a bit better. Parallel cuts don't allow you to show reaction shots. A reaction shot is, say for instance, character A is talking. We cut to character B and we see character B's reaction while character A is still talking. Reaction shots are such a powerful tool, and they absolutely, definitely should be used. It's always good practice to mix it up with L and J cuts, but obviously there's going to be cases where the use of the parallel cut will be most powerful. Utilize both methods to enhance the dialogue scene. Tip number 4, remove audio pops and jolts. So to make everything flow just a bit smoother, I always add an audio fade in and fade out to my audio clips. What I do is I set the default audio transition to 3 frames, and I've changed the default audio transition in my keyboard shortcuts to Shift D. So now I can highlight all my audio and just press Shift D to add an audio transition in and out of the audio clip. Tip number 5, sweeten up your audio in Premiere Pro with a nice multi-band compressor. Using a compressor will even out the low and high signals by lowering the loud parts and increasing the quiet parts. It's basically used to give you a more naturally louder sound overall. So let's quickly jump into Premiere Pro so I can show you what settings I actually use. So we want to bring up the audio track mixer. I have mine up already. If you don't, just click on window and then scroll down to audio track mixer right here. So what we want to do is we want to click this little button here on the top left. Click it and it brings out all the audio effects. Now I want the audio effects to be applied to audio track 1 in my timeline. So I'm going to press this plus button, and under amplitude and compression, I'm going to scroll down to multi-band compressor, and I'm going to double click on multi-band compressor, and I'm going to change the preset to broadcast. Once that's done, all I need to do now is change the margin to minus 3.5 decibels. What that does, it basically makes sure that the audio doesn't go above 3.5 decibels. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm doing here, and I'll see you again very soon.